All right, first podcast on Chesapeake to Cheesesteaks. Here with my co-stars Chris Denholm, Brendan Markey, Luke Fanning, and myself, John Villano. This is the first podcast of this channel. We're really excited here. We got a lot of people that we can have on this show. We have a special guest today from the 215. He's an analyst. His name will be coming shortly. So, we're just going to get into this and introduce ourselves, our intentions, and how the name maybe even came about, because it's an interesting one. So, we'll start with Marky over here on the left.
All right. So, my name is Brendan Markey. My intention with this podcast, the motivation actually came from, I've been thinking about maybe doing something like this for a bit, but it wasn't really until the last few days where I thought it might actually happen, and we've been putting in a lot of work over the last couple of days, but I think it's definitely come together, and we're excited to see what we can do.
Yeah, very excited. It's going to be good. I mean, got the mics and everything. We're serious about it.
It's good. The last 24, 48 hours, we've been putting in a lot of work, but it's come together, so we're happy.
Yeah, very excited. I'm John. I'm also a communications major. Sounds like I'm introducing myself in like a college class, but it's just a podcast. So my intention with this, grow a fan base. We want to grow a fan base, a reputable brand we want to be respected in the podcast community, but also take it as an experience, because this is good practice for the future. I mean, we're running a whole show here basically. We got the mics, got the camera, got the people for it. I mean, we're serious about it. We're very serious about it. So hopefully good things, nothing but good things. Oh, I mean, I actually skipped over someone. Hold on. We got the most infamous thing.
Yeah, they're gonna say this, but
chill.
Alright, whatever.
Stop touching the mic.
But, Luke Fanning. My intentions, this podcast, just to be on here, talk the talk. Just talk with my friends and all that. I mean, a lot of people say that I've been hating on this podcast, but in my opinion, I gave it motivation, because one night we're all sitting here, John mentioned about bringing a podcast. Brendan Markey was very interested in it, and I said, there's no way you guys can do a podcast. And from right there on, I saw them look at both their eyes. They're like, oh, we're doing a podcast. So here we are today, sitting here, starting the first podcast of the day.
Very excited. Very excited.
My name is Chris Denholm. I'm a finance major, and I am here on the ride to experience the journey of this podcast, because I've only watched maybe a couple of podcasts, not too familiar with this type of territory. I'm putting myself out there, and just to do it with my best friends in college is a great idea to have fun with it, to create a new journey, and really it's just all about the experience, in my opinion.
Exactly. That's what it's about. Yeah. And we'll hear from the Chesapeake boys first. How do you think the name? I mean, the name kind of just clicked, right? Like
Kind of just clicked. Yeah.
How does that work into your guys' life? I mean, Cheesesteaks for me,
Yeah.
Philly 215, shout out. So that's how it's connected with the Cheesesteaks, but the Chesapeake part, how's that?
Yeah. Obviously, Chris and I were both from Maryland, so we have the Chesapeake Bay in Maryland. We have crabs. A lot of people know us because of our crabs and other different stuff, but
The Old Bay, yeah.
Old Bay. But yeah, kind of the name. Once we kind of came up with the name, it just clicked, and we always knew that we wanted a name that just clicked right away, and we felt this was the right one, and I think it's a good name for us.
And perfectly incorporated with two guys from Maryland and two guys basically from Philly.
Yeah. Perfect.
Great idea.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was love at first sight.
Yeah.
When we heard that name, we were like, that's it.
That's the one.
That's it. So, all right. Well, let's not dilly dally here. Let's get our guest on the show. Daniel Lowman
go.
from the 215.
Let's go. First guest of the podcast.
First guest. How you doing? How you doing, Mr. Lowman?
Hey,
215. Shout out.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Thank you
for coming.
Of course.
All right. So, let's just get into some pigskin here. Week 1. Last night saw a lot of games. Saw a lot of teams. Saw a lot of points scored. Specifically, some Cowboys. But yeah, 40-0.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Turn the game off at halftime.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I wasn't even
Careless.
watching.
Oh, straight
It
to
was a rough
bed.
one. The Giants.
Oh, straight to bed.
Straight to bed.
Those Giants are terrible. I will tell Doug Chrysler, Don Antonelli, Matt Chrysler,
Oh,
Nicky
you're
Antonelli,
throwing-
He's throwing
They're
shots.
terrible.
We're starting beef.
They're
already.
terrible. That's all I'm gonna say. They're terrible. I mean, Giants fans, whatever season you thought you were gonna have, you're not having it. And I knew that from the whole summer.
It's a big take.
I'll just tell you that. I'll save you the whole season. You don't need to watch it at all. Whatever you thought it was gonna be, it's not.
All right, I have a question. What do you think the Giants' record's going to be this season? If you had to make a prediction.
I don't know because I don't have the schedule up to
Yeah, that's true.
choose which win and losses, but they're not making the playoffs.
Not make the playoffs.
And-
I'll tell you now.
You know what?
We'll take that.
No.
We'll take that.
So I'll make a post-it note right now of my wild takes, and at the end, every time it comes true, I can admit
All right.
All right.
Giants.
I'll write that one
Giants are
down.
not making
Write that
playoffs.
down, Marky.
I'll write that one down.
Giants will be the bottom of the NFC East. I've been thinking that from the start. They signed Daniel Jones for who knows why, and I think they re-signed Saquon, which was good, but
Mhm.
their O-line's still a bit rough, as seen by Dallas Cowboys just killing Daniel Jones
Oof.
left and right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that-
They lost the sack battle like 7-0 or
Jeez.
something like that. Absolutely insane.
It was a bad game by the Giants. All right, on to the next game. Let's talk about Chris's Cleveland Brownies,
Ooh.
All right.
the dog pound.
It's only week 1. It's only week 1, but it is safe to assume in the last 7 games the Browns are 6-1 against Cincinnati. Like how can you not like them going
True.
into any matchup against Cincinnati?
True.
And now that the Browns have a seriously talented roster, there are so many possibilities for where this team could go. Now, watching every Browns game for 7 years has put me in some tough times.
That's dedication.
A terrible losing fan base like that is really starved for a talented team that Stefanski has built, and with the new defensive coordinator, if the defense plays like that every game, there's no telling what the future will hold because of how dominant that defense was.
I
And
don't think anyone expected that coming from the Bengals. That was the rough
Yeah.
one.
no one did.
That was a rough one.
Burrow clearly underperformed in that game for everyone's expectations.
Yeah, but you gotta
Got
keep
that
it into
bag.
the fact that Burrow had an injury during the whole training camp, something with his calf, so that's why he looked pretty bad out there. The Bengals team just looked bad, but
Yeah,
I wouldn't overreact. It's week 1.
it's true.
Everyone's juiced up to play week 1. I mean,
It's a calf strain.
last year the Bengals started what 0-3, 0-4, and they still made it to the AFC Championships and almost made it to the Super Bowl.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like week one
It's week one.
doesn't say anything, but
True.
it's a
True.
great spot for
The
expectations.
Bengals are known for starting out slow.
Are they?
Last year, they started out slow.
Alright. That's fair.
All right, let's get into Marky's beloved Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, Vikings lost a close game, 20-17, on Sunday. Yeah, it was a close game. I was disappointed that they lost, especially it being at home. No touchdown on Sunday for Justin Jefferson, but there was a touchdown for Jordan Addison, the rookie wide receiver. I think they were thinking he's supposed to be pretty good, so hopefully he can keep getting touchdowns, keep getting receptions, and hopefully him and Justin Jefferson can put some points up on the board for the Vikings this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that Jordan Addison kid. I mean,
Yeah, I think he's gonna be good.
came out of UFC. I mean, I think over the summer I saw a tweet that you should draft George Addison in your fantasy league because he's taking over Adam Thielen's role.
It's true.
And
It's true.
the Vikings like to throw the ball. They play in a dome.
Yeah.
High-scoring games. And he proved it. So if Jordan Addison is on the waiver wires in your fantasy league, I would pick him up. I would pick him
It's a
up.
good point. Good point.
Anything else on the Vikings? The Minnesota Vikings? Well, the Minnesota Vikings are coming into our hometown,
Yeah, that's good.
Philly.
Big
on
game.
Thursday.
Big game on Thursday. Big game on Thursday.
Well, let's
Eagles
talk about
fly.
the Philadelphia Eagles. You want to start it off, John?
How about the Birds?
It scared me. Scared me a little bit. I mean,
How about that last drive?
the last drive really, I was on the edge of my seat. I mean, jeez, I was panicking
You even
a little
watched
bit.
the game.
I did. I watched the whole game. I was panicking.
The
I
Mac
mean,
Jones revenge.
yeah, bro. It's just Patriots is always that matchup that it's just like we need to win. We need to win it. I mean, especially after Super Bowl, you know. We always have to win that game, and we went out there, we did it. But it's week one. It's week one.
Yeah.
You know, nerves were settling in. You know, gotta let the Birds get a couple games in and then get comfortable. Hurts, he looked pretty good besides that one little mishap with the ball. We don't talk about that, but yeah, I think we're looking pretty good. I mean, yeah, that's my take on it, Luke.
Yeah, I mean, it was always going to be a tough game going up against a veteran coach and Belichick and a bunch of other. They're a well-coached team, and the Birds losing two of their coordinators, and Jonathan Gannon in Arizona, Shane Steichen to the Chargers, and basically replacing them with two new coordinators. I mean, you could have saw they were going to get out-coached right there, and they definitely got out-coached. The only thing that irked me was that we started out hot, 16-0 in the first quarter, right? And then we just let off the pedal. That can't happen. You always got to keep going at them, keep going at them. Can't let your foot off the pedal. But Thursday, new game, new day. I would like to send Minnesota back home with another L from Philadelphia.
Yes, sir. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. I mean, I'm pretty content with week one.
Yeah, that's a good recap for
Yeah,
week one.
I mean, that was
Yeah.
some good games. Some
Yeah,
good games.
good
And
games.
some more tonight.
I'd like to add in
Oh
our
yeah,
guests team as
It's true.
well
it's true.
with the
Oh.
I am from the Philly area, but
Why are you a
I'm
Commanders
a
fan?
Commanders fan. My dad, big time Commanders fan. He grew up in Carlisle,
Crazy.
Pennsylvania. If anyone's from there, and they had their
Alright.
training camps there. As him and all his
Ah.
buddies are fans. So I just follow in my dad's footsteps. Been a rough few years.
Very.
We had a
very
fun
rough.
RG3 season, but I'm excited for this year. I think we'll be about 500. This first game showed our defense is going to have to win us games, even against the sorry Cardinals, but, win's a win.
The Ravens also won, but at what cost? Using
Yeah.
J.K. Dobbins again,
Yeah, that's not good.
absolutely terrible.
No.
As an Ohio State fan, watching J.K. Dobbins in his collegiate career, electric player, electric running back to watch. But back to back injuries for this guy. It's terrible. You never want to see a player go down in flames like that, especially with the injury bug constantly nipping at him.
Any more remarks on the week one?
I think that's a good recap for week one.
All right. So let's move into the Lowman report on Punch. How about that
Punch.
UFC 293?
Big UFC
Man.
fight this past weekend.
Saturday night, lights are shining bright, and it seemed like the champ. It was shining a little too bright for him.
Yeah.
The lights were brighter than
It
expected.
was, I don't know, going up against Sean Strickland. Adesanya was the heavy favorite
He
coming in,
was.
and he just didn't look himself.
He was struggling.
He's backing up the whole fight.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all.
Strickland.
Strickland got in his grill the whole fight.
Strickland just backing him down the whole fight, and all of his kicks seemed too obvious. It was just getting easily blocked.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I watched only probably about the last couple of rounds of it, but yeah, it was very one side towards the end. I mean, how many rounds did he win? What was it?
It was,
It was a 3-2 or a 4.
yeah,
Probably,
4-1, 3-2.
Yeah.
Either way you score it,
Yeah.
was Strickland won.
So I mean, it was kind of much.
It was rough.
That,
There was a
uh,
couple boring rounds in there that you feel like if you're the champ, you kind of just go for a minute and try to win around. But
Yeah, that knockdown at the end of round one was crazy. The ending was crazy. I honestly I thought that it was about to end in there, but he survived
he
and
got saved by the bell.
saved by the bell. Yeah, that was crazy.
All right, Lowman. Who is your next big UFC star?
Next, well, I gotta go. Your wrestling boy, Bo Nickal.
Oh,
He's
Yeah.
been exciting.
Exciting.
Sean O'Malley. I mean, he
Sugar
just
Sean.
Sugar Sean.
won
Sugar
the belt. Big knockout.
Sean. Sure.
I don't know. There's always McGregor lurking around. He's coming back.
He's coming back. That's
He
good.
is.
Big comeback
mean-
fight.
That's gonna be fun.
Him and Michael Chandler. That should be an exciting fight.
Yeah.
Michael Chandler's a dog. He'll give him a good fight.
It'll be a good fight. That's Luke's boy too, McGregor.
Yeah, of course it is. I'm 50% Irish, so of course I'm gonna root for Conor McGregor without a doubt.
What did you take from the UFC fight this past weekend?
Marky alone even know it. I mean, I know a little fist here and there. I mean, I know a good fighter just
Full fist, little kick.
just from the naked eye. And Sean Strickland, he was just relaxed. He was on top of Izzy. He had him pinned up against the cage the whole fight. He just looked relaxed the whole
And
time. And I said to Loman, I said, I don't know, I feel like this Strickland guy's going to win. And then Loman goes, dude, he always does this. He never defends his face. And then, bam!
That's how he does it. He's got
Bam!
He's got
1-2. Got him on the cage. He's just hitting him. He's 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 hitting him. We're all up. We're like, what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah,
And I thought Izzy was done right there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
after that, Strickland, right after that sequence, Strickland took advantage of that fight. Now, Izzy, he's going to come back and he's going to win. Mark that down as a take.
We want that.
Because last time he,
Yeah.
because
I
last
gotta
time he
get that on
fought,
that.
I'll
he
get that one
won.
down right now.
And what happened before that fight he won? He lost.
It's true.
Izzy's a man where if he loses, he's going to come back stronger
back.
and harder. So don't be surprised when Izzy comes back and he wins because he takes his losses to heart. Those aren't losses to him. Those are learning experiences,
That's right.
in my opinion.
I don't
pretty
know.
good.
I don't know. So like you were saying, Strickland got that Philly shell defense where he keeps his hand low. He's blocking a lot of body kicks with that. But I don't know. It seemed like Strickland just dogged him the whole fight.
Yeah,
I don't know how you come back from that. That was a rough one. Even at the end of the fight, the last minute, when Strickland was just yelling at
Oh,
us.
yeah, he was like-
his face.
He's yelling the whole last minute. Like,
Yeah,
That's
come
that
on.
last sucker punch.
I feel like you gotta, show a little something. It didn't seem like he didn't want any of that.
He wasn't too bothered with what he had to say.
Mm-mm.
The next big UFC fight coming up is Oliveira Makachev, right?
Yeah, that's gonna be a great
That's
one.
gonna be a big one.
That's their second fight,
Yeah,
but
I think it's October 21st, if I'm not mistaken. But that's gonna be another big one.
21st.
Yeah, so we're
I'll put my
Probably
names on Makachev. Big
it's on.
big fan of wrestling.
We're
Any wrestler, grappler, love their style. Of fighting.
We're definitely gonna watch that one.
yeah.
Chris is
Definitely
a
watching that one.
wrestler background, so
It's true.
Wrestled in high school for 2 years. My senior year, I didn't get to wrestle because of COVID, but after starting the wrestling team, my sophomore year of high school, my freshman year of high school, it opened a new perspective about what really the hardest sport in the world is, because
wrestling.
it's gotta be wrestling or
Swimming is up there. Swimming is up there.
Ice hockey also has a pretty good name for
Yeah.
itself as well, because
Yeah.
you're spitting on the ice for 40 seconds at the max, and then you're right back off. But wrestling is hands down the hardest sport I've ever done. Absolutely, two and a half hour practices, driving home, falling asleep, like it's
Oh, jeez.
absolutely
Yeah.
absolutely grueling.
That's pretty grueling. Marky, tennis report? I think
Tennis
it's that
report.
time.
Just had the U.S. Open just wrapped up
Really good.
this weekend, and yeah, Djokovic, another Grand Slam title for him, showing why he's the goat.
That
And
boy nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He really proved himself. I mean, he didn't really have much to prove because he already has the name, So I think he just reestablished his point.
yeah,
in the tennis community. Shelton though put up a good.
Sheldon did, yeah. Sheldon lost obviously in the semis to Djokovic.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously not a person you'd want to face in the semifinals, but I mean, if you want to win a Grand Slam, you got to face the best and you got to beat the best.
I agree with that. I mean, he's walking home with a nice little 65 million
He
too
is.
after that. So
Yeah, we were watching some of the semifinals and the finals.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good matches,
Mhm.
and obviously Alcaraz was in
Ooh.
the semifinals.
that was
That was an exciting match. We
Yeah.
had a lot of fun watching
really
that.
fun. He put up a fight.
He did.
He really did till the end.
He
didn't
did.
Just, but the Russians, they
Yeah, Medvedev came
yeah,
through.
he was fighting, dude.
He's fighting.
Seriously. But I mean, Alcaraz, I did hear a wild take through the grapevine.
It wasn't a take. It was a conspiracy theory.
Luke Fanning here on his wild take. What is it? Please tell the people.
I mean, he might be juicing. He might be taking the Barry Bonds 2.0 steroids. you never know. I mean, I just started watching tennis. I like tennis, and I saw Alcatraz, and he's built.
Alcatraz. like the prison. the prison.
It's pretty easy to get
Put
mixed
that up
up.
on the screen.
It's pretty easy to get
Alcatraz.
mixed up, but he just looks too built. And
But these
no
guys are in
tennis
shape.
players that. I mean,
Good
Tiafoe's
genetics.
big, but
It's their job to get in shape.
Yeah,
constantly.
he's still
Yeah,
also
he's getting the
he's
best
still also
training.
only 20.
but Alcatraz just looked like he just looked like a lump of a.
He is ripped. He is
He
ripped.
just looked
Yeah.
like the Spanish version of Ronnie Coleman out there, just hitting the racket at the ball. But
That's a wild take.
But Marky did bring up a good point that
Oh, yeah.
during the early years of Alcaraz's career, he used to cramp up.
He's still even recently he's had issues with cramping up during matches, so he's has to retire the match, and basically he's done. So yeah, like obviously it's kind of a concerning problem for someone that young to be cramping up that much, but I would assume with being the number one player, or I guess not anymore, but he's probably has a great team around him, and they're definitely gonna make sure that he's becoming the best player he can be.
And bringing up the cramping up point, if you lived on the northeast coast, you would know how hot and humid it was.
That's true. That's true.
And
Oh,
if he
that
wasn't
could be
cramping
yeah.
up, playing 4 hours straight, not cramping up, I mean, he might have worked on been in the lab and doing something, but
Yeah.
Didn't- So you say he was taking him during this,
no, I
Yeah,
want to say that. I mean,
but in the past he
I-
has.
I just want to get some more information about why he doesn't cramp up anymore. What
How
has
do you
he
know
done?
that though? Maybe he is. He just.
I don't know. I haven't
Yeah, maybe you gotta
read,
look
but
at the last time. I feel like it was kind of somewhat recent, but
this take was just something I just said that he might be juicing, and Marky and John are just running away with it. That's all I got to say.
You gotta stick to your guns.
I mean, I'm
depends
Stick
on
to your
so-
takes. You can't back up your takes.
I mean, this was a slight conspiracy theory. This wasn't a
yeah,
real take.
we're not accusing him or anything. It's just
What's the? they
I would
got
never
drug
accuse of
tests?
anyone of being on steroids at
yeah,
all.
definitely not.
They got drug tests and stuff in.
That's what I was
tennis?
thinking. I was like,
They
they
do.
definitely
They do,
probably
yeah.
got drug testing and all that stuff, because
Dana waits on that 24/7.
yeah, like they definitely are making sure that like the athletes and stuff are not doing anything they're not supposed to be doing.
I mean, tennis has been, people have been caught before doping.
Yeah.
Tennis, it's not just like a sport that's,
Yeah.
you don't need doping for, because there's a lot of benefits to doping that athletes are gonna try to, utilize.
Yeah, I can't imagine he would do something like that, because one, he definitely would get caught probably, and
Yeah.
he'd be throwing his career away, which is
Yeah.
be a waste, because
He's so young.
he's arguably one of, if not the best players in the world right now, and still so young.
Yeah.
So much potential, and yeah, he could definitely end his career as one of the best if he keeps going the way he is.
Yeah. But on the topic of doping, Paul Pogba.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
What,
Very
what
recently.
a shocking news.
Dude.
You hate to say it.
I mean, he suffered so long with his injuries.
Yeah.
You know, he's been out for a while. He's missed a lot of time.
He's a type of guy I would have just loved to see, like a whole season, just at his best, injury free, because we all know what he can do.
Oh, he's.
I mean, that's what happened when that's what happened when you go to Man United.
He's not. I
Whoa,
mean,
whoa,
he
whoa.
was
Transfers really don't work out at Man United.
But he's back at Juventus.
He's my favorite
Ever-
player on Man United.
Ever since he went back to Man U,
It's for like a year.
his career's been downhill.
He was a dog on Man U.
Yeah, he was. He was.
He couldn't get onto the field.
Because he was hurt.
No, it was because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, however you say his name, would not play him at all.
He was also hurt for a while, man.
Yeah, that's what I would have just loved to see him, like a season just playing at his best, confidence high, injury free, because we've seen in flashes like what he can do.
Oh,
so he's a fantastic player. Should be one of the best players in the world, but
he's 30 years old.
he's 30 years old.
30 years old. I mean, he
Favorite
does.
video on the internet. His swooping
Yep.
volley right in the
yeah.
corner.
Yep.
So hopefully he can get back healthy and get back performing, because we'd love to see him playing at his best.
Yeah. I mean, in 2021, when he was playing for Man U, he missed 21 into 22. He missed, I'd say, about 130 days.
Yeah.
I mean, hamstring, calf.
Yeah.
He was pretty injury prone, but 30 years old, it's catching up to him now.
Yeah.
You know, he's getting old.
Yeah.
And hopefully that allegation isn't true, because that
Yeah,
carries a 4-year ban.
Hopefully the allegations not true, and hopefully he gets back on the pitch playing, and yeah, we definitely want to see him playing and having fun again.
We want
Sure.
to see that. Yeah.
And if the allegation is true, he'll just go to the Saudi League and make quadruple his figures. So
Saudi League's paying. It's paying
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, a lot of people are going there now.
Yeah.
Would you go there for a nice rack? 100 grand a year, right now for you to go play in the Saudi Pro League.
In a heartbeat.
I mean,
yeah, I would go there right now.
But that's right now.
He already bought his ticket.
You don't have.
He already bought his ticket. He's going.
But you don't have what your career was in the past. Like your past career isn't.
Like I feel like I would, like if I
Well,
was
like,
all right, you can go.
You have to leave everything here.
Yeah, like if I was
Take Alphonso Davies for example.
Yeah.
Right. He if you've ever like read his articles or like listened to interviews or any media posts about him, he is lonely.
He is.
He is lonely away from home.
Yeah.
He just goes there and does his job. Fortunately, it's good enough that he loves his job and he can play.
true.
He can play it, but doesn't really know a lot of people out there. And on a
big
friendship
change.
basis.
Yeah.
It's a big change.
So I just hope someone like a Kylian Mbappe, someone like that.
Oh,
I
no.
hope they don't go there. I hope
Please no.
he stays in Europe.
And then
I mean,
comes to
that'd
the MLS, to Union.
Yeah.
We'd like to see
Like-
that. Mbappe on the Union, yeah.
Maybe
Like-
the MLS one day.
After I win the lottery, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to
Sir.
get Mbappe to the
Yeah,
Union.
The Union.
you
That's
know,
my plan.
Chester County.
Yeah.
Get him a nice house.
Yes, sir.
Get him a cheesesteak.
Yeah.
Get him on the pod. Get him
Yeah.
on the pod.
But like the only thing that frustrates me is like a young player who's in the Premier League, like say like a Mo Salah, like
Oh yeah.
he still got good years around him. Like why
Yeah.
would he go? Like
Yeah.
I
Nah.
get it, the money, that's life changing money for your
So
family
much money.
down the line, but
Yeah.
Wait, would you do it if you were at the top of your game in that league right now?
no, I wouldn't. I would. I mean, like if you go to the Saudi League, you're not playing in Europe. You're not playing in the Champions League. Like you're not winning major trophies. You just go in there just to get paid in basically a retirement home league.
If
Like,
there's
no one's gonna hear of you ever again. Like
But
If
some
there's
people
really
can-
no importance.
I mean,
Well, Ronaldo made it important.
yeah.
He
Yeah.
really did.
he was like the first one, and then now everyone's
Yeah,
Everyone's
there's a bunch of
going.
people over.
Everyone's hopping on it now.
Yeah.
I mean, but back to what I was saying, like, yeah, if you were offered the money right now, obviously you'd go.
Yeah, 'cause I'm doing nothing. I'm not getting
That's
paid
what
for
I'm saying.
anything right now.
Because, okay, if you had, like, Ronaldo's career, right, you have so much and everyone's looking down on you going to Saudi as like
Are
a
you going?
downgrade? Like, are you still gonna?
No, I don't think I never looked at Ronaldo going to the Saudi league as a downgrade at all.
I didn't really either, to be honest. But
Because I mean, like, he's already proved
He's
so much,
already proved
like,
it. Yeah.
in everything. The only thing that that I kind of shake my head at is seeing like that very good center mid from RC Lens, Fofana.
Yeah.
He's a Fofana. He's probably 28, very good player, and he just went to the Saudi league. Like, I would have loved to see him get into like a Premier League team or like a bigger team because he can play.
He can play. Yeah.
And like, who knows? Like, is he French too?
who?
That Fofana guy? I think he is.
I think he is.
I think he is. And I mean, like, who knows? He might have just given up his chance to go into
International. Yeah.
into the French international team.
Yeah.
I mean, is the French international team gonna take anyone from the Saudi league?
Especially next summer is a big summer for France. They got the Euros next summer.
Mm-hmm. Huge.
You're gonna be wanting to be playing as much as you can, but also playing with good competition on a good team,
Yeah.
playing in a competitive league. So
Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
be good. It's gonna be really good. I mean, I'm hoping to catch a couple games.
yeah, next summer is gonna be a busy summer for sure. Got a lot of stuff going on, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun.
Any game that's gonna be in Philly, I'm gonna go to.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what country. Just to go to a World Cup game like that is nuts.
Do you think they'll have any down in DC?
No,
Or not World Cup, but the Copa?
Copa, they might. I think Copa's next summer too, so it's gonna be fun having obviously. Messi's already in the United States, obviously playing for Inter Miami right now, but
yeah.
having that tournament in the U.S. is gonna be fun. There's a lot of good South American players and countries now, so
Very good.
it's gonna be an exciting tournament. The U.S. is obviously gonna play in it too, so it should be a good competitive tournament and a good test for the U.S. because obviously we want to do well in 2026 when we're hosting. So
Definitely.
I think it's a good opportunity for us to perform and play against some good teams,
Yeah.
good oppositions and stuff.
Yeah. Got to make it past the group stage in the home.
Definitely, yeah.
I think the U.S. met the expectations in the previous World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
too.
Expectation was to get out of the group stage.
Yeah,
It happened.
I think we all watched the game together, right?
Yeah.
All did, yeah.
It was great.
And everyone still called for Berhalter's head. Don't know why.
Yeah, a lot of people want Greg Berhalter nowhere near the U.S., but obviously it's an opinion thing. But personally, I think Berhalter is good for the job, but obviously people have different opinions. But
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. We got a couple
to
years.
see how we do this summer too. If we have a good tournament, hopefully some people will get off his back maybe a little bit more. But if we have a bit rough tournament, I could see us maybe going in a different direction. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I wonder, just to go back with the Saudi League talk, I saw this TikTok shout out, whoever I saw it from, but TikTok about boxing. So if the Saudi League were to buy a bunch of boxers and create their own league, instead of having all these belts with like 4 belts per each division, it would unify all of boxing and you would just have one champion per division. I think that'd be a great idea.
That's what Live Golf did. Live Golf, and then
so much money.
Live Golf bought out all those PGA players, and then
they merged.
right, and then the people who stuck with PGA got screwed in the end anyway because they all merged out anyway. PGA, DP World Tour, and Live all together in the same
But yeah,
in the
boxing,
same league.
boxing especially, I think it's like the stupidest thing how there's all these belts,
Yeah, there's so many belts, so many different promotions,
so many different champions. Like
Yeah,
at a certain point, I think
There's gotta be like one group.
someone with a lot of money that's got to take over.
there's some big fights coming up too for boxing, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, we got one at the end of the month.
Yeah,
Canelo versus Charlo. That's a big one.
I think Canelo's got him probably pretty easily, but
Yeah.
we'll see. See what
And then-
Charlo has.
about Adesanya.
I did say that, but
Then we got the end of October. We got 2 big boys fighting in Saudi Arabia: Tyson Fury versus Francis
Francis Ngannou.
Ngannou. That's another big one.
we'll
So,
see his transition. to
yeah,
boxing.
I'm excited to see that transition and see.
Going against the best. I don't know.
Yeah.
For your first fight in boxing, that might be a
Yeah,
little
it's
tough.
tough for his fight. So I'm excited to see how that one goes down.
So, anything else or?
Chris has a story.
If we're
Chris
gonna,
does have
if
a
we're gonna,
story.
if we're gonna close this out
Yeah.
right now, the story.
Here.
So
Yeah. Go for it. We'll get a Chris cam.
So the last story I'm gonna go out and end with. So I drive a 1999 Toyota Camry. It's a story about my car. I got it from my father, who got it from my grandfather because it was sitting in a garage or a driveway for like 8 years after my grandmother passed away because it was previously hers. Once my dad switched jobs, he lost the company truck that came with his job. So
Okay.
my grandfather, family needed a car. Here, you take my grandmother's old car. Great. I get my license. He gives me the Camry, and then he goes ahead and buys his own car. Perfect. You know, I have driven this car for so long
Yeah,
that
you have.
and I know basically every in and out with changing stuff cosmetically. I put a whole new sound system in it, new head unit. I love this car. I would have drive this car until it forever if I could. But recently, about last Wednesday, I was not paying attention while driving in the dark, and I hit a curb so hard that I jumped up over it and ran over the entire island, the entire island median in a parking lot in a McDonald's parking lot. And
How's she holding up?
oh, she's fine.
Yeah.
And so we get to like I jumped the curb and I'm like, oh my god, like this is terrible. And I'm driving down the road, and then the RPMs drop from idling to 0, and they're bouncing up and down, up and down. I shut the car off. I turn it on. Check engine light comes on. Doesn't start. I do it again. It comes on, and then I have to 2 foot the brake pedal and the gas all the way back to the apartment because the RPMs just would not stay at the idling position. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be like normal. So I I asked any local guys if there was any car mechanics to see if I could
Curry.
yeah, my very good friend Eric Takuri, shout out to his dad.
Shout out.
He owns a an auto shop not too far away from here. And then I get in my car today. I'm 2 foot in the pedals again all the way down to the garage, and I get there and I pull in the driveway to the garage, and the car dies in the middle of the ramp going up to the garage. So I get out, I'm like, "Hey, are you Eric's dad?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm Eric's dad." Like Eric's dad, like he told me about you. Brought your car, and I'm like, "Yeah." So it was like, "Pull it up." So I turn the car on again, and then I'm 2 footing it. I'm like jerking up the hill, like trying to get up to the top of the garage, pops the hood. This is literally what he does for less than 5 minutes. He goes, revs it, with the throttle and like the fuel line. He revs it, puts 2 wires together, shuts the hood. All right, you're good. Like what? What is
wrong with you?
It's crazy.
So when I hit the curb, when I was jumping the curb going at Mach 9,
Yeah.
I knocked something loose. I knocked something loose in there, and I thought it was something terrible, like a misfiring piston, like what Stephen Boyle had said.
Well, 30.
Well, 30, what he had said before, and I was so nervous that this was gonna cost me upwards of like $1,500 because taking apart that engine and replacing all those different parts. If I knocked something loose or broken something, terrible. The car isn't even worth $1,500. So if it cost that much, hell no, I am not doing
Literally.
that. Not doing that at all. And so I just busted a fuel line or the throttle, and I just knocked that loose. Drove it home. Check engine light's still on, but I know it's okay because I just gotta reset it.
Yeah.
So, moral of the story is to turn your headlights on in a parking lot in the middle of the night. Oh, and the best thing is, I'm like, Eric's dad. I'm like, dude, how much do I owe you? Because he was literally screwing with it 5 minutes and shut the hood. You're good to go. I'm like, how much joy are you, man? Like, that was great. And he's like, it's just magic. No cost.
What a guy.
No cost. Next time though, you're paying. He goes, next time you're paying. I'm like, all right, I understand. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Local
But-
legend.
Love that guy.
That's nice. I think that's a good way to close it.
Yeah.
On a happy note.
It's a Curry Zelda shot.
Story of the.
Shout out Eric to Curry's dad.
What would you say, Luke?
It's a warm heart story of the day to end it.
It's a good way to end
It's
it.
now time to watch the Monday Night Football. Shout out Gary Schreider, Sam Schreider. The Jets are coming different this year.
Pookie and his Jets. Throw it up
Jets
it.
are overrated.
Throw it up there. So yeah, we'll close it out. First podcast. Success, I'd say. It's pretty good.
Definitely.
Shout out to 215 Lowman
Of course.
for the first guest here. I think it was a really good time, and tune in for the next one.